Hi everyone, Teresa Aker here from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. It's my pleasure today to bring you Jaime Glassman. How you doing, Jamie?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? So happy to be here.
Oh, I'm thrilled to have you. I want to let everyone know Jamie's a kinesiologist and also a stand-up comedian, so I can't wait to see how this comes together. So Jamie, welcome today. Let's start in the beginning, shall we?
Thank you so much. Yeah, absolutely.
So how did it all get started? First, I know you're a kinesiologist, so let's start there and then let's move our way into the comedy side.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've spent my whole life doing karate growing up. So I am from the age of 5 to 17. I got my second degree black belt in karate and I used to teach for 3 years. And coming to the end of high school, I was just like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm a Jewish person from Toronto. I was like, maybe I'll go to law school or medical school, but I didn't have the ability to focus that well to do all those things because of my experience with karate and knowing that, like, no matter what, no matter how I was feeling, I would always just feel excited to be there, to connect with the kids, to connect with my peers, to be able to like just do the art and the sport form that it was. That I got recommended to apply for kinesiology. So I went to the University of Guelph for 4 years and was like this close to becoming a dental hygienist
Oh,
because my dad's in the dental industry and I was like, okay, I could wear running shoes, I could talk at people all day, they can't really talk back to me. Perfect. Let's maybe go into the dental hygiene route. But then I found my post grad in exercise science and lifestyle management at Humber College. So I was super excited about that because that kind of bridged that gap between like university and practice. And that's been a recurring theme in my life
sure.
since, where I went from going from that, bridging that academia to practice, to now I bridge rehab and fitness with kinesiology. So for the last 10 years, I've been a kinesiologist. I look like I'm 24. I'm not, just turned 34 last week,
Wow.
actually. Thank you. But yeah, I've spent the last 10 years just trying to like understand what's going on in the industry. I've worked in gyms, I've worked in rehab facilities. My longest time that I've worked in a place was doing, what was it? I worked in a physio clinic doing mostly active rehab for people that have been in car accidents, workplace injuries, just fitness injuries, all sorts of stuff like that. I've done fitness testing for firefighters. I've done like ergonomics and like job coaching for garbage truck drivers. I've done disability case management. So I've done it all. And then about 6, 7 years ago, I was just like frustrated because I was like, I want to help people more. I feel like I'm not able to like use my skills, especially based on how I was being compensated, to really make the impact that I was looking for. So I started my brand 6 years ago, the Movement Maven Kinesiology, so that I could really help people the way that I wanted to, really start to actually use active care to help people make it accessible to exercise instead of just shaming people into diet and lifestyle, instead of just making just expecting people to get back into their general daily life after they've had a traumatic injury or an injury of any kind that like affects their like perception of their self and also how they move and how they believe in like their function. So I've spent a lot of time doing that and it's my favorite thing because I just get to like connect with people and tell people stories. And like the biggest thing for me was just like being able to be relatable.
Okay.
And being relatable helps build that trust. And I say this all the time, where no matter how long I've worked with a person before, it's the most important thing to me to make sure that I'm continually earning your trust. There is no, I've gotten your trust, therefore this is where we're at. It's, you should always be challenging me, pushing back on me. Like, I know that there's always going to be ups and downs in life. So, like, trust is always something that is earned. And that is something that's so important to me. And that's how I got into comedy, because I've been telling the same stories for 10 years. And even my family, same people that were just like growing up, were just like, don't tell people about us. They're going to think we're weird. To here's random shit you should talk about on stage. You should do stand up comedy. You're so funny. We've been working through that on stage and in therapy, but also on stage. So, it's been really fun. But yeah, that's the Coles notes of it all.
I have to say, you do not look 20.
34.
You look 24, you're 34, so that's amazing. I'm also 24. Oh, just kidding. Yeah.
You look like you're 24 for sure. You have 24 energy, and that's all that matters.
You're very personable, and I can see how everyone just would just be thrilled to have you helping them and getting them through it's an emotional time when people are trying to get healed and get better. And you're right, I heard what you said. You want people to not feel I guess shamed is the right word. You want to
Hmm.
make them feel like, hey, it's okay, and we're going to get through this, and you're there to help them. And what a great attitude you have, first of all, right?
Thank
And
you.
your personality is just wonderful. And your stand-up comedy, that's so I think a lot of people who start in stand-up, I certainly don't, I'm not a funny person, but I know they, when they're younger in their families, they're the ones that are always telling the jokes. And as you said, telling the story over and over again, that it becomes kind of part of their persona and their character. And I can see with you, you have all those stories are shining through. Does that make sense, Jamie?
Yeah. You know what's really interesting about, thank you so much, by the way, but what's really interesting for me is that I was actually not the biggest personality in my family.
Oh,
So I come from a family of very big personalities. I call them the Jewish Kardashians of Toronto. My like tagline is that the theme of my family is Botox and tequila. And I am very much not like that at all. So it's very fun. But like the thing is with growing up, I learned at a really young age that like it kept me safe to emotionally monitor, to people please. And a lot of that was really just, I learned not necessarily correctly that being a people pleaser was going to keep me safe, was going to help get me opportunities, was going to help me just like move through the world a little bit easier, especially if I don't have the same privileges as like some other people,
yeah,
especially because like I've been an overweight woman in fitness and health for the last 10 years, which comes with a lot of judgment, comes with a lot of speculation, comes with a lot of fighting against. And that's been really important to me because I want to show up as myself and I want people that resonate or see themselves in me to feel like I'm a safe space to help them.
yeah,
But then there's always that like up and down of just like, I should look the part, I should be more professional, but I'm also human and struggling with like certain things that like are very normal and relatable, but feeling that shame around being able to talk about it. So being able to get to do stand-up comedy, I started like just over a year ago at 33, that 32. I've had a couple birthdays, but I really just realized that this was my time to express myself. And in the last year, I've really found so much of myself in just being able to fall on my face on stage. And it's been really fun. And apparently, I'm pretty good at it. I don't know. But it's been a really interesting journey because I wasn't the class clown, but I was somebody that, like, if I could make people laugh, it would keep people safe. It would keep me safe. It would keep people off my back. It was just like almost more of a defense mechanism. And even like growing up, I've had my parents even tell me, like, the self-deprecating humor is a bit much. So like I've had to take that feedback, and especially I just got diagnosed with ADHD like every female millennial in their 30s lately. But that kind of brought a lot of pieces together for me. So I'm figuring out what does that mean for me? Like I'm excited about this new piece of information, but like all these other people who have been experiencing this for a while have already been experiencing this. So I don't want to beat a dead horse and be like, okay, like this is just my experience. This is what I'm going through. This makes sense why I have struggled the way that I have to really like feel comfortable in my identity, but being able to like now be medicated and focused enough to perform on stage and remember what the fuck I'm talking about is super helpful. So it's I said a thousand different things there. No wonder I have ADHD, but we're doing great. But it was like one of those things where you're just okay, like I know that I'm not the stereotypical anything, but I'm one that's what I wanted to bring into comedy is what I've done with kinesiology is I want to create safe spaces, but I want to open up the space for people that might not have thought that they fit because we need more diverse voices to be able to reach wider audiences. And how does that come down in terms of marketing? How does that come down in terms of like your material and how you connect with people and how you build a following? Like what does all mean? So just trying to figure out what comedy is to me has really just been more of a like therapeutic, but also really exciting opportunity I haven't expected.
I think it's wonderful. Listen, a lot of people have creative talent that they express what all their frustration and their stress and anxiety, and they bring it out through art, through drawings, through sports. It just depends on what they're doing. And you're doing stand-up comedy, which is a healing form of creativity as well. I think that's beautiful. And
Thank
you're
you.
able to help people in the audience who are watching you say, she's just like me, and I'm really happy about that. And you're right, there's a safe comfort space. And look at you, you're so friendly and inviting. Of course, everyone's going to love you. That's just a given. No, but it is,
Thank
Jamie.
you.
Honestly, now where have you been performing? Talk to us. Where have you been?
So I've been mostly in Toronto. So I
Okay.
mostly am around like the west end of Toronto. So like Comedy Bar, Tall Boys is like a bar on like Bloor and Ossington, Backroom Comedy. Really just like a lot of the smaller clubs. Like I just go in and make them be my friends. That's how I phrase it to them as well. And it's just been fun because the more people get familiar with me, the more they get an idea of my comedy. And what's really cool about that is I found that like when I was a kid, like I loved musical theater, but I was the worst actor ever because I couldn't really be anything but me. And I always felt that acting was like inauthentic to me. Like, I think it's amazing that other people can do it and it's so cool. But I just like always had this like wall where I couldn't really do it. And that's how I became obsessed with karaoke. And now I've had 16 karaoke birthday parties.
Oh,
So that's really like where like the comedy and like the performance piece was like ignited for me. But I find that like with being able to create like those spaces for myself, like I'm trying to create and connect who I am as a person and how I am right now with you and like on stage, make that more of a transition so it's less like of a difference. And I want to come off of stage to be like, this is exactly who you are to the people that already know me, and for the people that don't know me to be like curious about it. And most of the time people that have only known me through comedy and then they just see how I behave in the world. Like I know that you've done a podcast with Brick David already.
I have. He's great.
Yeah. We went to the distillery district like the other day, and he basically just watched me make 30 friends in real time, just like
Good.
by talking to random people. And I'm like, this is why in my comedy or in general, I talk about why I love doing things by myself because most of my friends want that my full undivided attention on them when we're out in the world. And I'm like, but there's all these other people here. What are you doing? Like
Yeah.
I can't do that. That's why I have to go to the Christmas market by myself because I it is an opportunity for me to talk to every single vendor, to make them smile, make their day, also learn about a bunch of stuff and just connect with humans. And it's something that I find is makes me different and unique because especially I'm in my 30s, I feel like a lot of people just have smaller social groups. They're just focused on like the people they already know. They just want to hang out with the like same people that they've always hung out with. And for me, I'm just like I there's so many other people that can give me context, that can make me have a wider perspective of what's currently going on in the world and people's lives. And it just makes me feel almost more connected to myself. And I feel like that's something that if other people could do, could be more relatable. So back to your initial question, obviously huge tangent, but where am I in the city? I'm all over. So I also I have been doing some shows in Cambridge. I'm going to do a show in Aurelia on Saturday. So I have my car. Her name is Sheila. So wherever I can drive to, I'm happy to go and looking into some opportunities to see if I can maybe go to New York
Oh, really?
once the political climate settles down a little bit.
Yeah, that's a factor right now, I know. But you know what? Our American friends are kind to us, so I'm sure you're going to have a nice time there too. Jamie, as you were talking, I know some of those towns because I'm actually east of Toronto myself, and I know we have them in our city as well. We have the stand-up shows in different areas. So I wondered, now that you've been doing this for a while, where do you see your talent going in the next 5 years? Is that something you're going to pursue as a comedian full time? Is that sort of the plan, or where are you at long term? Let's look at 5 years from now. Where do you see yourself?
That's a really great question because normally, like professionally, I find that I've just been like working like day to day. Like being able to think about a 5-year goal just felt too big, especially because I I'm in the health and fitness industry. I'm in the health and wellness. I'm a regulated health professional. Like my main goal has always been to like make exercise and healthcare more accessible for people. And being in comedy actually helps me have vision for my future, which is really interesting because I never really felt that way before. Like I love what I do and I love being able to help people one on one. But it's so emotional being able to help people, have people give you enough of a chance, stick with you enough to see results, to be able to navigate setbacks, navigate like interpersonal conflict. But with comedy, when I started, I didn't even think that I would go on stage again. I did a comedy class for 8 weeks, and then I did my first show, and like 50 of my friends came. That's a real number, not an exaggeration.
Okay.
And I obviously don't stop talking to people all the time, but I didn't actually know where it was going to go. And like now that I've gotten like so much experience doing it, I have so many people that have just been telling me, like, you're good at this, keep going. And even just like my ego at the beginning, where I was just like, okay, like I know I'm good at this, like I'm a natural, go me, but also checking my ego and be like, you know what, I can always be better. It's one of those things that's like weirdly humbled me in a way that's really helped me see myself a lot more realistically. It's helped me progress in a pace that feels really like reasonable, but a year in, like I shouldn't be headlining or going on tour or being in the places that I am right now. So being able to go to New York and see if this translates to a wider audience or a different audience than I'm used to would be like in the cards for me. Like I would love to do this pie in the sky, but like I'd love to have my own Netflix special, to be able to like have YouTube videos and stuff like that, to be able to like have stand up be something that I am known for. And would I get into acting? I don't know. I did a sketch like with a friend of mine. She just wrote a sketch for us and was like, let's do it. I was like, and then I got there to do it, and they're just like, oh, you've never acted before. I'm like, I've only acted as me before. That's all I can do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wonderful, because I think the reason I ask that question to a lot of people, especially you young artists, and I really want to encourage young, up and coming comedians, actors, singers, musicians, all of the young people trying to make it. It is a tough world out there, and competitively, you need some platforms to be able to practice on. So the very reason that you just talked about is the reason I have this show, because I want to see all of you succeed. It would give me great pride to see all of you up there on the stage and say, wow, they did extremely well. And I'm very proud of all of you. So yes, I had Brick on. I just had Jonathan Morley on just the other day. His show's going
He's a
up.
nice guy too. Yeah.
Really nice. I've had some great comedians. I had a comedian up from North Bay, Charles Adams. You'll
Cool.
probably see him on the circuit. So I'm certainly thrilled that all of you are working so hard, and you're gonna, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going somewhere, Jamie, with this comedy. Now, whether you become an actor or you're in New York or you're in Canada, wherever you are, you're going to be a huge success. I have no doubt in my mind. Now,
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Now, let's say someone wanted to reach out to you and have you do a show or something. What's the best place to reach you, Jamie?
Usually Instagram, Jamie.unhinged, Jaime is how my name is spelled. And most of the time people spell it wrong. So I don't, they're like, where are you? I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not gonna change the spelling of my name to make it more convenient. I also just tell people it's Jem. It's like Jem in French,
Yeah.
or Siri pronounces it as Jaime, which is now my Spanish alter ego. So that works
Oh,
out. But
very
yeah,
good.
I'd
I
love
like
to see you
Jaime,
at
and
a
that's
show
it. Yeah, I can
someday.
see that. Absolutely. And now, do
Yeah,
you have a YouTube channel where you do your skits and things like that?
not yet. No, I don't. But I
What?
just use Instagram, and I'm mainly just like working on just getting more stage time and just trying to get more experience.
Okay, so I have one more question for you, Jamie.
Yeah.
Will you come back and do another episode with me?
I would absolutely love to. I didn't even get to do any of my comedies. So
What I'm going to do is have you come back and you're just going to do your comedy show. How's that?
that sounds perfect. As long as like we can make it conversational. I'll be like telling my stories and we can break it down if you want to. We can do whatever we need to make it
Perfect.
fun.
Perfect, because I want here's what I'm thinking, as you're growing and you're doing your material, I'd like you to come back a few times as a regular. Would that be something you could think about?
Absolutely. I'd love to. I love
Absolutely.
podcasts. This is so fun, and you're delightful. This is the best day ever.
Oh, thank you. That's very kind of you. Make it easy because you have a personality plus, and I'm thinking that as you're growing and you're doing shows, I'd like to be able to have you come back and do your comedy and have you as a regular, and let's see where you grow.
I would love to. Thank you so much.
My pleasure, Jamie. So, to everyone, please reach out to Jamie to all her social media, especially her Instagram. I'll make sure it's all here for you. This is Teresa Aker from Success Diaries with Teresa Aker. Please subscribe to my channel. I hope you're all having a great day, and I look forward to talking to you all very soon. Bye bye now.